Donald Trump's campaign was allegedly hacked by Iran, and Politico has those documents. But should they publish them? We want your opinion, so stay tuned for the end. On Saturday, Trump's campaign announced that internal communications and documents had been accessed in a hack, again, allegedly committed by Iran's military. Trump posted this on Truth Social. "We were just informed by Microsoft Corporation that one of our many websites was hacked by the Iranian government. Never a nice thing to do. But they were only able to get publicly available information, but nevertheless, they shouldn't be doing anything of this nature. Iran and others will stop at nothing because our government is weak and ineffective, but it won't be for long. What Iran doesn't realize is that I will make the world a better and safer place, and that's good for them also." But it's unclear if that's actually what happened, or if the Iranians are behind it. On Friday, Microsoft published a report saying attempts to spearfish a high-ranking official on a presidential campaign were made by Iranian hackers, but they did not specify which campaign was targeted or if the attack was even successful. However, in July, an anonymous email account started reaching out to Politico under the alias Robert. And in these emails were included communications from the Trump campaign and a vetting file on JD Vance. Now, Politico reports that the person behind those emails also claimed to have a variety of documents from Trump's legal and court documents. Asked how they obtained the documents, the person responded, "I suggest you don't be curious about where I got them. Any answer to this question will compromise me and also legally restricts you from publishing them." The New York Times also confirmed that they received the same set of documents, but neither the Times nor Politico have published any of the contents. Trump campaign spokesman Stephen Chung called on outlets to withhold from publishing any of these documents that they obtained. The Iranians know that President Trump will stop their reign of terror just like he did in his first 4 years in the White House. Any media or news outlet reprinting documents or internal communications are doing the bidding of America's enemies and doing exactly what they want. Now, in July, it was reported that the US intelligence community had evidence that Iran was planning to assassinate President Trump in retaliation for the Trump killing Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in 2020. Cenk, there's a lot here. What do you make of this story?
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it. I thought it was perfectly plausible that Iran did this. There's the Microsoft statement, and then there's the fact that they hate Trump. And by the way, if the Russians, did this to the Democrats in 2020, which they did, in 2016. Any country could do it to either one of the candidates. And so that seems to make sense. But then that quote that you read, Jordan, really caught my attention in the story, because this doesn't sound real at all. I'm gonna reread it for you guys. "I suggest you don't be curious about where I got them from." Okay, so if you're an Iranian spy, you couldn't figure out how to speak proper English, so it seems like it's not from Iran, but it's from Robert. Okay, could be. But then the second sentence, "Any answer to this question will compromise me and also legally restricts you from publishing them." All of a sudden, your English is pretty good about legally restricting. And it's interesting that you're saying, oh, if you publish this, if I told you where it came from, it would legally restrict you, meaning if you publish this, it's illegal. Why would the guy giving you that information tell you that? That makes no sense at all. And I guess Americans think, oh, everybody in Iran is stupid. So if they were smart enough to be able to hack into Trump's system and get all that information, but they're so dumb that they're gonna tell Politico, now remember, if you publish this, it's illegal. It feels like a giant setup for if you publish anything, you got funding from Iran, you're under arrest. So it feels like there's a second level of catfishing here. If anybody publishes it, they could then later use it as an excuse to put them in prison. So, and remember, if you don't know this, Ken Klippenstein reported on this at the end of last week. 22 members of Congress just happened to send a letter to the FBI and other agencies saying, a lot of Republicans on that list, but some Democrats too, saying that if any protest is funded by Iran in any way, shape, or form, then those people are subject to arrest. So now whether things are actually funded by Iran, who knows, right? But they'll say that it's funded by Iran. So if you ever print anything bad against Trump that comes from this thing, you might go to prison. If you protest Israel, you might go to prison. So I don't know who hacked into this. And by the way, Jordan, the other thing is it didn't look like they got any really valuable information. They got useless information on Marco Rubio, and the file on JD Vance. Politico hasn't published it. I don't know what's in it, but they say that what's in there is stuff that's already publicly known about JD Vance. Wow. Look, there's no way of knowing at this point who did it and why they did it and what's going on here, but I'm super skeptical that this was Iran and it's some sort of devious plot and oh my God, all of it sounds super fishy to me.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the claims overall. The FBI, it was reported shortly before we went live. The FBI is now investigating this, and the account that was compromised was a former campaign official for Trump in years past. It turned out to be Roger Stone. So they got into Roger Stone's email, and then from his email, we're sending spear phishing attacks, which similar to what happened to John Podesta in 2016, which led to all those emails leaking. So if that was successful, it remains to be seen. Microsoft didn't say whether or not that happened or that was successful. The Trump campaign has been pretty murky with their details. Yeah, it's I don't trust them. I don't trust the Trump campaign saying this specifically was Iran and they got JD Vance's file. If they had access to anything, documents, information, internal communications through that spear phishing attempt, why would they release something, a compilation of publicly known information? You don't think they would find something more damaging or release something more damaging? So I'm holding on that point. I'm not sure. But then there's also the conversation about media ethics. What do you do if you're at an outlet who gets a document like that? And while we say publicly known, it's all publicly available, that doesn't necessarily mean a lot of that stuff has been reported. It could have been old social media posts, old pictures that were floating around on social media, other things that he said in past interviews that could come back and be really unfortunate for the Trump campaign to have to answer for, as we've seen recently with some of the Oppo research on Vance around abortion. I don't necessarily think it's a good idea for outlets to publish just blanket whole docs. We've seen that backfire before. The research document by Christopher Steele that was published by BuzzFeed ended up to have mistruths, misinformation, if not outright lies within it. That backfired for that outlet. So if Politico is being judicious in this approach, same with the New York Times, my expectation is they will look through all of these stories and publish the ones that they can validate independently on their own time. So we'll see a slow trickle rather than the entire document being published. But what do you make of that strategy, Cenk?
So in the morning meeting, I had not read the story yet, so I was going off of a small description. So I asked for a poll that's asked, how should Politico handle the hacked documents, release them or keep them confidential? And I would have said, release them in a way that you think is responsible and doesn't violate any journalistic standards or any laws, right? Don't do a document dump, just as Jordan was saying now. Now, no, I don't even, there's no way they should release them. Because I'd be surprised if this isn't a trap. And so the last part of the puzzle, guys, is it happened to be from Roger Stone's account, the guy who is known for having done the dirtiest tricks for Republicans for the last several decades. Oh, hell no. They happened to trick Roger Stone? No. I would be really surprised if this wasn't some stupid Roger Stone plot where he tries to send this information to people, pretend it's from Iran, and then if they publish it, if Trump wins, go and arrest all those people. So yeah, not buying it. No interest in the documents. We already know what a loser JD Vance is. Don't need to publish them, and I don't believe a word of this story.
I guess we're might be at odds, but I'd be curious to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, no, Jordan, it's Admiral Akbar. I'm screaming to you, it's a trap. So, and look, guys, again, I want to be clear on what we know and what the facts are, and what I think is happening. The facts are, they say they think Iran did it. There's no confirmation of that at all. It's from a guy named Robert. Politico did not publish any of this. The stuff that was leaked seems, so far as we know, inconsequential, and it comes from Roger Stone's account. There's giant, now this is me analyzing the story, giant red flags all over this story. So let's see how it turns out. Maybe we'll get facts on it one day, and when we do, we'll report back to you guys as to what this really was. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.